Hello and
You don't. You look at me. You don't look at the camera. I'm a
You're
pro. I'm a pro. You see.
welcome, Mr. Phil O'Doherty, chairman at Derry City Football Club.
Oh, Michael.
This is my first interviewee on the Footy podcast, past and present. So, welcome Phil O'Doherty here to tell me a wee bit about yourself.
Well, thanks very much for being your first victim of this podcast. First of all, yeah. Well, I'll tell you about it. Like, first of all, a lot of people sort of sometimes don't. Maybe the younger people don't know about where I'm from. I'm from the Oakfield area of Derry.
Yeah.
Just there, like Craigan's on one side, Brook Park's on the other side, and then Bull Park's down below.
Very
so
central.
I was sort of surrounded by possible football opportunities from a young age.
Yeah.
But my early years, obviously, I was brought up during the Troubles, which wasn't a great time to be a young person in Derry, but I got a really good education. I went to the Wee Nuns, it's called, down on Francis Street in Derry, and then I went to the Christian Brothers Primary School over in the Leggy Road, which is now Living Christie.
Yeah.
Went over there from primary 4 to primary 7, and then I went to St Colum's College, and I had a really good education. Did my GCSE O levels, and I did my A levels, and I went to Queen's University. Late 70s, early 80s. Again, not a great time to be in Belfast, I can assure you, but again, fabulous educational
Just for the
establishment.
troubles and things and
Just
the
the troubles
conflicts.
and full flow. But I suppose that, there wasn't a lot to distract us from our studies, I suppose, because you really wouldn't have been out around Belfast much at night time in
Right.
those days. So I did an engineering, a Bachelor of Science degree in electrical and electronic engineering.
Did you know from an early age, Phil, that that's what your interest lay?
I think I was always interested in science, and I was very mathematical in school, and God rest my father. My father worked in the docks in Derry, but again, he was educated by the Christian Brothers, and he
Opportunities were limited.
But he really had a good grounding in mathematics, and always sort of, he showed me how to do equations, and when I was only in primary 6 and primary 7, so
Brilliant.
like it was, it was a thing that was
Big
discussed
stepping
at home.
stone. Aye.
Yeah, like my mother who still lives up in Oakfield, they were very much pushing towards education. Like the whole, like I've a brother and 2 sisters, and like we were all basically, there was an atmosphere that education is the way forward in the house. Yeah. So I went to Queen's University. I had some summer work in the ESB, and I went to DuPont. Spent 4.5 years in DuPont. Again, a great place for training a young engineer. When you come out of university, there's really you get limited sort of practical skills. You have plenty of theoretical and sort of science type skills, but not on the job until you go into a place like DuPont. A great place. And after 4.5 years, I started again in engineering, and probably the reason why I left DuPont, I was not unhappy. I liked it. The training was fabulous, but I was a bit entrepreneurial, I suppose. I wanted to be my own boss, and just like people sometimes think, well, you just wanted to make more money. Actually, it was more to be my own boss.
Beyond that,
I like this idea, and I always had sort of admired people that were creating
Took that
jobs.
extra step.
That was the very early days of Apple. Apple computers was when I started in the late 70s, and from early on I thought, these guys are starting a business, creating a brand new industry. So I was motivated by that type of example I was set by and there were a lot of those companies that are household names now. They were set up by electrical engineers, so
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that education. So I started the E&I engineering in 1980s. I stayed with DuPont 4.5 years, and then I set up E&I in 87. And obviously we have 1,250 people here in the northwest, mainly Burnfoot, but we've got some people in Campsie. I think it's 200 in Campsie, and we're just starting up a new facility in Letterkenny for a lot of off-site modular fabrication, new types of skills. But like, I think one thing, looking back on what we've done, is we've created a skilled workforce where there was none before. Like, these skills did not exist. So I think the more I travel the world, it's about having an educated workforce, a motivated workforce, and I think the opportunity to get new skills, because some people that come out of school and maybe they don't know where they want to be in their career. A lot of young people.
Do you think this is off the back of the Troubles? Just things slowly, economical side of things, has it just been a really slow burner?
I think Derry suffered badly in the Troubles in terms of investment and job creation, and I think also there was maybe a lot of people, a lot of a lot of the people I would consider potential business leaders, because the university really, the decision was made to site it outside there in Coleraine. I think a lot of people migrated away, and so your potential business owners
Looking
went
elsewhere.
there, and hopefully now the university seems to be doing better now. The medical school's been great news and always some every success, but look, there's a legacy there that we have to do something about, and I think I certainly have done as much as I can to create a company that basically works globally. We've got locations
locally.
Globally and locally, but I think it's a local workforce with global sales. So I'm very proud of that, and the recent partnership with Vertiv of Columbus, Ohio, in the United States, very much a manufacturing company. Like, whilst we globally have around about 2,500 people across our locations in Ireland, Dubai, and in South Carolina, in the US, I think that they have about 30,000 employees, or I think it's about 24,000 employees. So
on a massive scale.
Yeah, very much a manufacturing company as well. They manufacture complementary products to us. They wouldn't be exactly the same, but we certainly don't compete with them in terms of products. But again, very impressive company, very impressive management team, and they really look after their workers, which is very
It's only
important.
going to boost and benefit the people of Derry.
So that's myself on the business side. I think obviously you're wearing.
Well, it's a football podcast.
Oh, I know.
Let's get
Well,
into
I had to tell the background. So you're wearing a Derry City top here.
Well, I'm a Derry City supporter, and always have been.
I think Rory's got a strong enough squad. We're going to have to pass on your skills, Mickey. Yeah. So the Derry City involvement. I've been involved with Derry City twice now. Unfortunately, both times I've come in, it's because the club was in financial problems. And back in the 90s, Paul Diamond led a group of basically business people and professional people that came in and got the club going again, and then sort of most of us sort of moved on after that, and unfortunately then 10 years ago approximately the club
2010,
the club got into a similar type of financial problem, and
so what drew you towards that again?
I suppose
knowing you were before.
Look, Derry is a soccer city. It's GA is doing very well at this moment in time, and Steelstown, Brian Oakes just won the Derry Championship, so I'm delighted for the club. I know Brian and Marvick here very well. I was delighted for them particularly, but I was delighted for everyone associated with Steelstown. But Derry really primarily is a soccer city, and I think I'm really proud when I see Derry City, for example, playing in Europe, and when you're looking at the television, and it's Derry against PSG, or Derry against Trabzonspor, or Derry against Midtjylland. That's
just
our
usually
name, and that's
taking a wee step forward.
But that's
the main goal.
That's our name. Been basically talked about in Europe. All right, okay. We haven't sort of won anything, or we haven't got close to a group stage qualification.
But still, it shows you the progression, and everybody's singing together and working together.
So, like a football club and an engineering business, people think they're totally different. But I think one of the things I have brought to the football club, there's a certain discipline about financial. There's a budget. You have to follow the budget. All right. Sometimes the budget can be increased. Sometimes it may not be increased, depending on the income, depending on the sponsorship revenue that comes in, depending on the attendance.
I think people just see you as an entrepreneur and just think, right, money's no option. But there's a lot of thought between yourself and Rory in terms of who you're buying. Is it the right player for the right money?
Well, obviously, Rory gets a budget, and he picks a team, and that's the way it has been for all managers in football clubs. And if the directors ever start picking the team, that's not a good situation. It's not our role. But
you just have to put your trust in whatever manager you appoint.
But I think having a good mix between people that are skilled in business and people that are skilled in sport. I think where we are now, I think we have the
good combination.
And I know we've got the best manager in Ireland, and Rory Higgins.
I can agree with you.
Yeah, and Rory's on a 4-year package. I think that will give him time to develop. I think he's made
I think in the short space of time, he has made massive steps.
We had 2 points out of 18 last season. That's when Rory took over, and he won his first game away to Sligo. And he took the same squad with obviously he had a transfer window in the summer. Not a lot of players available usually in the middle of the season transfer window.
Yeah.
But we basically he made a European spot, and we had a
And
stormy
realistically,
finish.
it was never.
No, it wasn't. It was
Reality of European spot.
no one was talking about it. It was like, I remember at that time, Michael, it was survival, avoiding relegation, because we were in the
That
bottom.
was a talk.
Yeah, we were in the bottom. We were in the bottom spot, but he basically it was a lot of dogged performances.
All them draws.
Yeah, and
Just
a lot
stood at the end of the season.
yeah, but we came through and we beat Dundalk, and that really gives a chance. And then we had to get a favour from St Pat's in the cup
In the
final,
cup, aye.
the penalty shootout.
This is how it works.
Yeah, I think Derry doesn't do things the easy way.
No.
It always has
If
to
there's
be
anything to be done
right
the hard way, it'll be done the hard way.
Yeah, so
Aye.
that was it. And, but what I would say for me personally is, outside of a demanding business in engineering, there's a bit of respite when you can go to the Brandywell on a Friday night, and it's good fun. Like obviously, hopefully this season, like we have a really great squad. And I was down with the start of the pre-season training, and I just looked at the squad we have. Like that's
The
a
feeling and
fabulous
the
squad.
buzz. And
Yeah, there's a lot of positivity. But look,
I think on a way back, my father taking me to the games. I think that feeling's coming back again.
yeah, hopefully, well, there's. Like we have, we're selling a lot of season tickets, and there's more to sell. And I just want to thank people for supporting the club. Like
I think a lot of
obviously
people will be thanking you just for
Yeah.
the position that you've got the club under.
Yeah. So it's it is a two-way street, but I do sort of like I do enjoy going to the matches, and Derry City Fan Council have a great facility. The Brandywell, like we're obviously their anchor tenant, and
Yeah.
hopefully with the crowds being what we expect this year, we'll get an expansion of the actual seating capacity at the Brandywell and the facilities at the Brandywell. I think the hospitality bar area really is very limited in size, and everyone loves having a beer.
So is there anything in the planning
I think
are we
we're
looking
talking
towards
to-
Europe and then
Yeah, I think we're talking. We're talking to the council, and I think obviously the executive and Stormont helped fund the refurbishment.
Yeah.
The new stand, the new 3G pitch, and all that. So I think it's
Still there.
yeah. I think there's outline planning or something there. Certainly the drawings are done. I've seen the drawings several years ago. I think we need to get the plan back on track. But look, we've got COVID to beat first.
it's been a
I
stumbling
understand that is a priority, and we were hoping that COVID would be away at this stage, and we're planning for a season without COVID. But
unpredictable.
obviously, Omicron has just our
Yep.
plans are my opening remarks to the playing squad last week was like we have to basically do the absolute best we can in terms of
protecting ourselves.
protecting ourselves, protecting the playing staff, and protecting the families, and even the supporters. So
Yep.
we're not over the hurdle of Omicron yet. With the help of God, we'll be able to get it sorted out this year as a community. But look, Derry City Football Club overcame a load of obstacles since I've been there. We had tragedies like God rest Ryan McBride, and that just knocked the heart out of us. And like he still, everybody would talk about him regularly. And obviously we lost
Especially
Mark.
being so young and
Yeah.
And very local.
Yeah,
The way
and
that
obviously we
people
lost
yearn.
Mark Farney. He had moved on from Derry, but like that. So we had the year down in McGinn Park, and I love Buncrana, but
Just wasn't the same.
it's not the Brandywell,
It's not the
it's
same.
not home. But the people facility helped us that year. We had a place to play, and Kenny
People
Sheets,
do club together.
Kenny Sheets was the manager, and he says it was one of the best surfers in Ireland. So putting all those issues behind us, I think we can basically look forward to a competitive season. And I know I'm a bit worried that people are overconfident. Like the way people are saying now is that we just have to turn up in some of these matches and win them.
Nothing
The
to give.
squad we have,
Nothing to give.
nothing
Not
to
in
give.
football.
You look at all the shocks there was last year. Like everybody was beating everybody. It was up and
It was
down.
up and down around.
Yeah.
Aye.
So and even the Premiership this last couple of weeks has been a lot of surprise results. So
Yeah.
but I think we really will keep the players
I
focused.
think he's grounded, and he's relaxed, and he's, and I think as an individual, he brings himself across as being that game and nature. So
Yeah.
they're not going to get
So-
too carried away.
You know, our first game's away to Dundalk, and obviously
How
Patrick.
ironic is that?
No, you couldn't
You know.
make that up. It'll be interesting to see the reaction that the players get. You know, down there. You know, but can I take it? You've asked me on the point. One thing that I never liked was that like we had obviously people like Patrick and Michael and Shane. You know, obviously they left Derry City, and look, they're obviously made more attractive offers, or you know, like Stephen Kenny obviously attracted players
At the
like
time.
Patrick and Michael. You know, but I was very annoyed sometimes at the
Way
abuse.
football.
The abuse that they got from some fans, and like, you know, so like
I know that full, but that becomes a part of football.
yeah, I know.
You know, it's
But-
just
but-
it's a bit of
but
stick.
you know, those people are back now, and I'd always
that,
hoped
I know
and
that.
thought that we could get them back, but it doesn't
Sooner.
help. Look, I've listened to some of the abuse. It was a way above.
I've sat in the brand around here.
you
I've
know,
actually
so-
sat beside some of their fathers, and
Yeah,
they
well, it was way above what's acceptable. Like it was outrageous. Some of it. But look, people are passionate, but it has to be controlled. And like,
100%.
yeah, and by the way, the picks and play, it encourages them to play better against us. So
Well, that's
that
it. I
doesn't
mean,
have any desired effect. So
There's been a big thing
yeah.
where Derry people and your own people can be your biggest critic.
yeah,
So I think-
that was disappointing. And like I know I've had words with people that were involved in it, and
Needed
it
support.
certainly toned down a bit. You know, but it wasn't acceptable because their families were at those games as well, listening to that nonsense.
As you know, I'm a follower of a young
Yeah.
player at the club, and
Yeah.
certain things, and it's hard to sit and,
Yeah,
you know, when you're hearing
yeah,
boys that don't even know him as a person before the player,
yeah.
you know, certain things, and that's hard to take. That's
Well,
hard to
it's,
take. But then I say to myself, listen, it's football, it's 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You know. But Phil, well, on that, just between motivating yourself, you know, what motivates you? You know,
I like working. I like
Hard work.
working engineering. I'm certainly not afraid of hard work. And like over the like I've been on E&I. It's actually just about 35 years next week actually since it started. So you know, it's been a fabulous time, and I intend to keep working as long as I can as well. I think you know, in terms of motivation, you want to do your best for your employees on the business side, but also in terms of the football side. Like we really want to see some success, and it's been difficult in terms of like I think sometimes the managers that have come in, sometimes they just don't gel with the players, and sometimes like Derry has been attractive maybe in years gone by, but there's so many other clubs now in Ireland that are attracting players. Like it's not the same. Derry was a novelty in the area, and people think, you know, I wouldn't mind playing for Derry. It's a new club and all. Like we're not a novelty anymore.
it was like a passing through club or whatever.
Yeah.
As such.
I think we're making a big effort. Like I'm motivated to focus on our youth academy as well. I don't want it just to be seen to be
To be getting
bringing
cherry-picking
out like I know Evan has come through. You know that setup,
System.
and I think we have got a big team of youth team coaches, and they're certainly producing players, and I think we want to focus on the route by the Derry City first team, as opposed to players going away at 16 years of age, which it can be very difficult for people to settle. It's been away from home at such a you know a really young age. You
But
know,
from a football point of view, I don't think, you know, players are actually ready
yeah, at
to
16.
take that step away.
Yeah, well, I think the goal.
They get lost in the system.
They get lost because a lot of football clubs don't have any reserve games. Like you look at all the games, but like our guys are playing in leagues, and okay, that's not professional standard football,
It's
but
consistent football.
and they learn which position is best for them, and they're being coached by people. And more important, Rory Higgins is staying those matches, and Rory Higgins is spotting, you know, options and opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's there, and he's got a good team. You know, actually working on youth football. But I think I've been a bit disappointed, and that we need to get more players through into the first team system, as opposed to you know, going overseas, because we do think if you give someone maybe a year or 18 months playing football at FAA league level. Like it's a decent quality. Like we think it's probably maybe up in the top of League One, bottom of Championship, or maybe the lower half of the Scottish
Definitely is.
Premier League.
I think in terms of, I'll use my son Evan again. It gives him that good foundation.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally. So when
Yeah.
if the move ever comes, they take that extra step. He is
Well,
mentally and
Well, if you,
physically
if, you,
prepared.
if you take it, Evans playing against men, up to their sort of mid-20s, early 30s, and
Mhm.
that's a physical, challenge
Mhm.
against men. Whereas if you're playing, 16-year-olds or playing our
You're not being
16-year-olds,
tested.
you're not being tested and you're not developing. Like we think we develop people quicker, and we think we also think that it's better for the football clubs. I suppose motivation of all the coaches. If we're like the main role of the youth academy is they bring players through for Uri, and obviously some players will go across the water early at 16 still, but we think the vast majority would benefit coming through our first team system, and there's going
It's
to be
the only way to
opportunities.
test somebody and identify potential. Are they ready? Are
Like,
they not ready?
like Rory's brought players through this season, probably quicker than previous managers, and I think
100%.
he's got a real focus. And again, I had a meeting with him on Friday night, just past there, and we were just talking about budgets, and we were just talking about plans. And
Was this over a cup of pints or anything?
no, it wasn't. No, it was just in my house after a cup of tea. I don't think I've never had a pint. But can I tell you, he had to go early. Where are you going? And he says, I'm going over to the brandy bar.
Friday,
There's
yeah,
over there.
that's right, the same over there.
They were beat, I think.
But hey, that's a feeling process. That's what it is. It's just.
But what I'm saying is, like, he was rushing away from me, Chairman.
Which is
They
a good-
go
which is
to
a
the
good-
youth
which is a
game,
good
and I
sign.
was delighted by that.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah.
Phil, I just want a wee bit about in terms of, was failure ever an option for yourself?
You're certainly not planning for failure. You're looking to see how can I do better, and even when you achieve success, and sometimes in business it can be assessed on financial performance or job creation, or maybe a research and development. A product has led to a complete new product family, and that's going to create more jobs. Like that's all the measures I would have, but like it's just a determination that they
And
get
again, you
better.
can sort of tie to some way the football side of things. We go back to you saying a working capacity, to like a footballing capacity.
Yeah.
You just keep plugging on.
But the vision is to be like E&I engineering in terms of switchgear and buzzbar. We're probably one of the largest manufacturers in this specialist area globally. That's the level we're at the minute. And in terms of football, like I would certainly want Derry City to qualify for Europe every year, and I do want they win the League of Ireland Premier Division in the next 3 years. And I've said that already. And I think we will, but it's a huge task. And you look at this season now. I think it's going to be one of the strongest leagues for a long time. Like I know Shamrock Rovers are the standouts, but like we're in good shape. Like St Pat's had a fabulous season last year. Shelburne have been promoted. Bowes were probably tailed off a bit last year. But they were challenging. Sligo had a great season last year too. They qualified for Europe. There's virtually no bad teams in it this year.
There's no easy games. There's no easy. Even the likes of Fun Herbs.
Yeah,
home or away.
Fun
Home or away, you're getting it no matter what.
So hopefully Shane McElhenney, who's come from Fun Herbs, hopefully they play to the same level, because they had a fabulous season with Fun Herbs.
He had a great season.
Yeah.
So Phil, in terms of whatever project, you like seeing the follow through, you like seeing the end product.
Well, I suppose what my end product plan would be is we're trying to actually build a headquarters building which would house the first team and the youth academy. We're
together.
We're of course. The shared facilities.
Yep.
A lot of mixing, and we're trying to basically partner with Ulster University. We've been in discussions with them. We're looking to get hopefully part of their site on Northern Road there, just beside St Mary's College. That to me is an area that is accessible by foot by a lot of people, because like I'm conscious like not everybody has got a car at home. A lot of our youth team players
It's
that have
younger
to
boys,
walk, and it's you know
It is very central.
you
It
can
is
get
very
to
central.
Craigan, half an hour walk can get you from Craigan or
Pennyburn,
Gallia, or
Gaeta,
you know, so it's
uh,
quite central. Or maybe some of the water side might have to get a bus or two, you know. But looking around at all the possible locations, there actually isn't a huge choice, but that would be our choice in terms of you know, a central location that's accessible for people that maybe aren't mobile, you know, or their parents aren't mobile.
Yeah.
Can I say as well as I do like the idea of footballers continue with education and being in as part of the Ulster University campus. I think you know, like to me that's a great location in terms of like the students will be mixing with professional footballers and professional footballers will be mixing with undergraduate students.
I mean, it's always something they fall back on. You know, just
Well, that's it, and you know, like there's obviously there's a lot of sports science type courses at Ulster University's McGee campus, and we're hoping to leverage that, and even media studies. We're looking to get a better social media presence this year. So there's a lot of partnerships and two-way communications we can have with Ulster University. So, but we need to get this across the line, and it's like sometimes things
far away or
well, we're on
Yeah,
discussions, you know, it's just on
early
the ball,
stages.
because obviously they have plans for a lot of other
Other things as
sports and applications, so we have to try and.
I think as a whole it'll be great for Derry City.
Well,
as a
hopefully,
town,
you know,
as a city.
you know, I'm not going to count my chickens before
Aye.
they hatch just yet, but
Yeah.
it certainly would be you know, obviously if it doesn't, we're going to have to look at alternatives, but if one thing I want to get sorted out in the next couple of years, I just want to get a place built, because I think attracting outside players, retaining junior players, we just need better facilities.
Just having that
and
facility.
it's
Very
been-
it will be
you know,
attractive.
there's not enough pitches in the Derry and Strabane Council area, you know, for underage football. There's just not enough.
That's what a lot of I know we're talking about Premiership football clubs where like the club has come in when he took over Liverpool.
Yeah.
He wanted everything as a whole. He wanted all the youth facilities.
Yeah.
He wanted the academy and amongst reserve team and first team football. So they were all sort of identifying themselves as one.
Well, that's
You know,
certainly that's certainly the goal, and again, putting this amount of you know, expenditure in the youth, like, well, hopefully it'll pay results for the club and for the young players themselves. We want to give them a pathway, you know, to actually achieving their maximum potential. You know, that's what this is
And that
about.
is important.
Yeah.
Aye.
Like I have to say too, you know, that, like when you're listening to the football results on a Saturday afternoon, and there's Derry players can I mention, you know, like obviously James McLean, and
Josh Daniels.
Josh Daniels,
at Anfield at the weekend there.
that was fabulous for
You know.
Josh. Yeah, great, and Ronan Curtis has done really well,
Really well,
in
aye.
Portsmouth as well. He was
It's great. I just think, you know, even from when I was across England playing and things like that, you're coming from a small town and you're lifted away from your family, so you're there's homesickness and there's everything else that comes along with it, and you know, it's very hard for any young player to get up and go.
Well,
It's a lot easier now due to
WhatsApp
flights
and
and just that close contact.
Yeah.
You know,
But I do think that you know, what we have done well over this last 10 years, well, reasonably well in terms of getting players, you know, to you know, the senior level clubs, and you know, the just Rowan Curtis there, I think he's the top scorer for Portsmouth, and this last 20 years, you know, so you know, and Ronan went straight over him, straight on the first team, because he had a lot of experience with Derry City, you know.
I think it's a great stepping stone foundation.
So like it was Kenny Shields identified him and brought him through, and it was a right.
I'll go
move.
back. I'll go into full. What is your type of player? What's the type of player that attracts you? Not no names. Just what type of player?
I don't know. I like the players. Sometimes they don't have to be goal scorers, but 100% commitment on the field. You know, you look at some players,
That are playing for Jersey,
and you just know they come off absolutely exhausted. You know,
doing their job,
Yeah, I think if everybody
hard working,
Yeah.
disciplined.
Yeah, and I think you they don't have to be flashy and they don't have to be goal scorers, but like we obviously need goal scorers. But
so hard work. Hard work. Just
it's the same in business.
overseas talent.
Like sometimes you get people that are very clever, but you get people that come out
Hardworking.
and do a hard
Hands-on.
shift work every day, and they're the people that drive a business forward ultimately, and they don't maybe get noticed as much as the people who are maybe
Who's in the
a bit,
background,
a bit more clever, you know.
Yeah, that's 100%. So Phil, we're just going to finish off. What is your legacy? What is your end goal?
It's too early to talk about it yet. Like as if you
That's
think
fair.
I was leaving next week. I'm not. I think we certainly want silverware, and we want the youth academy producing players for the first team squad, and we certainly want to basically have a product that the fans want to see. And the season tickets have been the highest ever, as far as I understand. You know, certainly the highest in the last 10 years. You know, and I think it's too early to talk about legacy.
As a whole. Well, Phil, thank you very much for being the
Michael.
first man on or the first person on the Footy
right.
podcast. So, on that, any chance I saw? That'll be edited, Phil. No, that, half an hour on the nose.